All right, welcome back to the Necessary Roughness podcast. We got Trenton and Andy in here, and we are going to do a little review or recap of the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 60 happened a little while ago. We're a little late on this recap, but we're going to get this up there for you guys to listen to and give us your thoughts on the Super Bowl. Kind of a weird game. It was a low-scoring game, especially up until the fourth quarter. It kind of went the way I expected it to. Not going to lie. I had a feeling Seattle would kind of dominate this game. I feel like the Patriots, they're a really good team. They're a really young team, though.
I don't think they were ready to be there.
Right.
Not yet.
A lot of things worked their way in the playoffs. They got there, though. Props to them. They turned that team around really fast. Mike Vrabel, man, he is a great coach. And he really turned that franchise around at the snap of a finger. And again, a lot of things went their way going into the playoffs, going through the playoffs. But hey, that's the way it works,
the way it crumbles. I mean,
yep.
You can't control the fact that Herbert turned into Sherbert. You can't control the fact that CJ Stroud turned into Oh No Stroud, and then you can't help the fact that the Broncos quarterback breaks his ankle.
Right,
just freak accident.
Yep. That's football, man.
It's the way it goes, the way the cookie crumbles, and then you play the game that you had to play in order to win the Snow Bowl in Denver. Then you go to the Super Bowl, and it really was. I think the Seahawks had a harder path going into this. They
100%.
played a lot better talent. It felt like kind of like in the old days where you knew it was the Cowboys and the 49ers, and whoever won was really winning the Super Bowl. It was just whoever wins this is getting it, and then we have to play one more dummy game, pretty much.
Right.
The Super Bowl, when it was 3-0, it felt, I'm sorry to bring up a harsh subject for you, but it felt like the 2-0 Broncos hiking the ball over Peyton Manning's head, and then that Legion of Boom 2.0, whatever they want to call themselves. The
dark side.
The dark side, yeah. Dark side of the moon, I guess.
I like it. I like it. The dark side.
Yeah.
The dark side era has begun in Seattle.
Watching that game, if they would have given, like we were talking before the podcast, if they're going to give this MVP to anybody besides Walker, it would have had to been Myers. I mean, Sam Darnold really didn't do anything. Like, he had a great playoffs. And I mean, if they had like a Conn Smythe, then it would be something that he could have won. But for the Super Bowl, it was definitely Walker. He was directly responsible for at least 12 to 18 points just off of his legs. We have one really bad, atrocious, I think, holding call. Like, technically it was, but it was away from the play. Why call that when it was a game breaker, and it really gives Walker his touchdown in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
It was just that one irked me a little bit, but Walker really seemed to be the guy in this game where just the ball went through him, and then it really took that stress away from Darnold. And I feel like he didn't have to play out of his skull and do something special, and it put the onus on the Patriots. They had to score points, and they just proved that they couldn't.
Yeah. Andy, what were your thoughts on the game? Give me kind of your thought from start to finish. Just,
Well, first and foremost, I'm super happy my boy Darnold finally put the haters to bed.
Yeah.
And I think he did just enough. Like Trent was saying, he didn't have to be Superman or nothing like that. He had Walker to kind of lean on, and that offensive line did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Their defense did awesome. I mean,
that Seattle defense is stacked, dude. It is such a good defense.
Yeah.
I mean, they just were a suffocating defense.
Yeah.
Once you give them a lead, it felt exactly like the Legion of Boom. Just, we're going to suffocate the fire. We're going to get rid of the oxygen in the room, and you're not going to thrive in this environment.
I will have to give the Patriots kudos. I mean, they've had a hell of a good season. They did.
Yes, they did. They really did.
And they showed up to the Super Bowl. Vrabel had them ready to play, but it just wasn't their year. The Seahawks are a really good team.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to be the last of the Patriots we see.
I don't either. I don't think
it's going to be the last of the Seahawks either, honestly.
Right. I think these two teams are going to be really, really good next year, and probably the year after, and even after that. I mean, these are two young teams. That Seattle defense is young.
Well,
it's really young.
So young teams mean that you're not getting hit with a salary cap right out the gate. So
right.
You don't have to sign all these players. You got really young nucleus for at least the next 5-6 years before you have to start paying people and figuring that out. And then you got a quarterback that you're not paying that much money because you got him for a pretty good steal. So it gives you a lot more room and play in the salary cap. But I think the Seahawks are there to make waves. And then you're looking at Drake May. He's still in his rookie contract. He's got 3 more years on that thing. So
2 or 3, yeah. He's I think this is his second year, so
yeah,
maybe 2 more years. I think it's 4, and then they can extend him.
Because of how high he was drafted, it's 4.
I think it's 4, and then they can extend him. I'm not positive on that, but no, I mean, this game, it was 29-13 was the final score. At the end of the first quarter, it was 3-0 Seattle. And I'm not going to lie to you, watching the game, when it was 3-0 at the end of the first, I was like, it's over.
It felt like
it just felt
like it was
over.
15-0 at that point. I mean, watching that game, you would have thought, okay, 3-0, and that's it was fun to watch. It was okay, it's 3-0. Let's see what the Patriots could do. And then after the first, you just realized the Patriots aren't going to do anything.
Right.
I honestly thought it was going to be a shutout until finally the Patriots started scoring touchdowns at the end of the game. But at the end of the game, it was too late. It felt like the Chiefs coming back against the Eagles, like, all right, you guys score touchdowns now, but we all know what the end score of this game was,
right?
6-40. Like, this was not a game.
Well, yeah, I mean, end of the first, it was 3-0. The end of the second, going into halftime, it was 6-0. Or sorry, it was they scored 6, so it was 9-0. And then third quarter, 3-0 in the third quarter. So it's 12-0 going into the fourth quarter. And it was just like, man, like, I mean, no one has scored a touchdown yet, but this game is over. Like, it just felt totally controlled by Seattle from start to finish.
And it didn't feel like a touchdown was going to get scored. I mean, it was one of those games where both of the defenses were so good. Like, all right, well, I guess you're just not going to give up a touchdown.
Right.
But if you're not giving up a touchdown, that means the Patriots start coming back. That's 4 possessions that you have to have in order to tie this.
Exactly. And then the fourth quarter, both teams kind of woke up. The fourth quarter scoring was 17-13 in favor of Seattle. So final score 29-13. Like I said, though, this game felt from start to finish, it felt like Seattle they came out, they took control of the game, and they just never let up. I thought Sam Darnold played a really good game. He didn't do anything crazy. I want to pull up his stats here real quick. He was 19 for 38, 194 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Nothing like spectacular or anything, but he played good. He didn't make mistakes. He didn't throw interceptions or have fumbles, nothing like that. He played a good game, and he didn't have to do any more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah,
Well, not only that, but he didn't want to throw into tight coverages and make mistakes.
Right.
And the games that he did have to play out of his mind, he already did. He played against the 49ers and the Rams and beat both of them. Played out of his skull against the 49ers, played really great against the Rams. Like, all right, well, you're allowed to take a step back in the big game because you've already gotten your team to this situation. And there's no reason to force an issue and then give the Patriots the chance to win.
Right.
Especially when you look at 2 weeks before, what was the real turning point in that Broncos game? It was the turnover. And that's probably what they were talking about in Seattle's locker room is,
right,
when did this team for the Patriots really become alive against the Broncos? Well, when they turned the ball over. Let's not do that, and we're going to win this game.
Yep. Yeah, and against the Rams, I mean, in that NFC Championship game, Darnold played probably the best game of his career. He tore apart a really, really good secondary that the Rams had. That Rams secondary is really solid, and he just picked them apart, man. He played awesome, and I agree. Like, going into this game, I think he knew, like, as long as I don't make any mistakes here, this is our game to lose. The next guy I wanted to kind of talk about was obviously the MVP of the game, Kenneth Walker, man. Kenneth Walker III became the first running back to win the Super Bowl MVP since Terrell Davis in 1997.
Yep.
It's a long time. That's 19 years ago.
Yep.
That's a long time. Kenneth Walker, 27 carries for 135 yards, and he won the MVP. Didn't even score a touchdown.
Well, he had one.
He had one, yeah, but it got called back. But, I mean, the guy dude, Walker is a stud.
Yes, he is.
The problem, I don't want to say it's a problem because it's a good thing for teams, but the problem for these top-tier running backs is running backs have kind of become a dime a dozen in the NFL. Why would I draft a guy in the first round when I can get one in the fourth round and get just about the same production out of him? Or why would I sign him to a huge contract when I can just go get another guy in the draft? Or I can go even undrafted. I mean, we see so many running backs come into the league in the fourth, fifth, sixth round, come undrafted free agents and have really good careers. So it's like, I don't want to commit to a guy, especially later in his career after some injuries. I'm not going to commit a lot of money because I can just go get another 22 or 23-year-old and get 800 or 900 yards out of him. I'm going to get 1,200 out of you and 9 touchdowns. I'm going to get 850 yards out of him and 6 touchdowns. That's pretty comparable. But I can pay him $1 million or pay you $9 million. You know, like, so it is hard to justify coming from like a GM aspect of it, but it also feels really unfair to these top tier running backs. Like, man, like these guys, they work their tail off, man. They give you their heart and soul in a game like this, and then to not get that offer. Like, this game was played at Levi Stadium it's actually in Santa Clara, but it's San Francisco 49ers Stadium. So it was a good weather game. It was fun. It was sunny out. You know, we're up here in the Great White North, so it was kind of cool to see that on the TV, but
I'm sure all 49ers fans love seeing the Seahawks logo on their end zone.
Oh, I'm sure they loved that.
They just loved it.
Seeing them hoisting the Lombardi up there.
In their own stadium.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I will say though, this game was I felt like it was really defined by that dark side defense. The dark side era has begun in Seattle. Mike Macdonald, don't quote me, but I think he's the youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl, or one of the youngest.
I could see that.
The guy,
I mean, ex-Raven.
Yep, great coach.
I'm sad that we got rid of him, and he did a solid job for him.
Yeah, he's been a really good coach since he went there. This was his first year in Seattle, and he's been great.
This was his second year.
Was it his second?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right. Actually, I think you're right. Yep. But
this was in the highlights when they were talking about this game. This was like his vision of the team going into this was what he had for year one, but it didn't pan out. And then this is kind of how it all came to fruition in year 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't he have Geno Smith his first year?
I think Geno Smith was over with the Raiders still.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember who their quarterback was.
I'm not sure on that.
I guess it doesn't matter that much, but
I think it was Geno Smith, actually. I don't remember a quarterback in between Geno and anyway, we'll figure it out later.
But they definitely got their man now.
They definitely got their man. And granted, Darnold's
thank
pay
Vikings fans all day long. Huh?
Darnold's pay is going to go up. It is going to go up. He's in the second year of that contract now, but he's still on the cheap for a quarterback in the NFL. And this guy just won a Super Bowl. He just silenced every critic of him. Have you heard anything bad about Sam Darnold since that Super Bowl?
The only thing I've heard is that he really didn't play a very good game for the Super Bowl, but you can equate that to jitters. I mean, it's a different situation. Like, we've talked about this in our playoff episodes where he was in the same exact situation he was in last year.
Right.
It was the first time, and you never do things well the first time around, and then you got the jitters and whatnot. So when he's going 14-3 and he's playing for a week 1 bye, and he actually does it this year, well, it was just one of those things like, okay, well, they're going to go into the Super Bowl, and he could have those same kind of jitters, and it kind of felt like he did.
Right.
The good thing that he had was a solid defense to lean on and Walker.
Yep.
And at that point, you can just become a game manager. Like, there's nothing the Patriots really could do. You're on the highest stage. Let's get this thing done.
I wouldn't even say a solid defense, though. I would say a great defense. That is one of the best defenses we have seen in a long, long time. I mean, one of the best defenses the NFL's ever seen, in all honesty, statistically. I did just look it up. It was Geno Smith.
Okay.
So it went from Geno to Sam Darnold. But yeah, I mean, the dark side era, it's begun. Mike Macdonald's defense became the story of the season. They finished the year allowing only 13 points in the biggest game. This defense all playoffs was just suffocating, dude. Like, they just played so well.
Well, this defense, you looked at Macdonald, what he did. He's the one who got the Ravens to the AFC Championship game. Like, that was his suffocating defense. And then he goes and does the same exact thing for the Seahawks. It's just incredible.
Yeah, and it was great, dude. I mean, they played so well. They're young, they're fast, they move everywhere. They've got some guys. I mean, Devin Witherspoon, Leonard Williams, Ernest Jones, DeMarcus Lawrence was on this team. That's a veteran. That's a good veteran they brought in. Byron Murphy, the guy I was really super impressed with, and I loved him coming out of South Carolina. I thought he was a great prospect. Nick Emanwari. He is like a hybrid safety. I've talked about him in other episodes too. I love this guy. He's built like a linebacker. He's got speed like a cornerback. He hits like a D end. Like, I mean, the guy is just, he's like a hybrid safety linebacker, and he is so fun to watch. Rookie guy, wins a Super Bowl his first year, part of this, dark side defense. I think we're going to see a really long, good career out of this guy. I love his game. I think he's so fun. Honestly, to me, he's probably my favorite safety I've seen since Sean Taylor, and he kind of reminds me of him.
Was that the guy with the bonehead taunting penalty?
No, I believe, I don't want to say his name if I'm wrong, but I think that was Byron Murphy. I'll look it up real quick. You guys take over for a minute.
I thought that was going to cost them the game on that stupid penalty.
That's a big thing. I mean, you have to play disciplined football, and the biggest moment is when you really have to button up, and it just seems like it always goes that way where some player does something stupid, and sure enough, it will happen to go against the Seahawks, but it really didn't matter because the Patriots just could not move the ball.
Yep, and this is why I didn't want to say the name, because I knew I was wrong. It was not Byron Murphy. I apologize, Byron Murphy. It was Tariq Woolen, and he owned up to it afterward. He's, hey, that was stupid. I shouldn't have done that, but luckily it didn't end up losing them the game. Mm-hmm. I think he felt pretty bad about it afterward. He probably felt like, man, what am I doing? Like,
you never know. Cause I mean,
right.
That one little spark, I mean, we talked about this in the college football playoffs. Like if you can get one spark, you can change the entire game.
Right.
All right. Now we've been stymied. We can't get a first down. We get an easy, cheap first down and we're in good field position. Now you've really screwed your team.
Right. Yeah, it was a dumb play, but like I said, he owned up to it, and props to him for it. He's a young player. He made a stupid mistake. It happens. We're human. These guys are human too. I think a lot of times people forget these guys are human beings, man. Like, yeah, they're really, really good at something. They're super good at football, but they are humans. They make mistakes. We all do it. And props to him for owning up to it. And, luckily it didn't ruin their chances. They went on and won a Super Bowl. Congratulations. I was really happy for Seattle.
I'm glad it didn't cost them, but that's completely beyond boneheaded. I mean, you can say that he's human, but you're talking about a guy who's been preached at for the last 20 weeks not to do stupid things like that. You're talking spring training, you're talking practice football, and then you're talking about regular season, then the playoffs, and then you're still going to do something stupid like that in the biggest moment. That's the time that you should be the most buttoned up.
Right.
I mean, I hope it didn't really cost you guys, and that's great, but I hope it doesn't cost you in a contract, man. Like, you got to think about these things as a player. Like, what is a GM going to see in that particular moment? You've been disciplined for the last 20 weeks, and then you're still going to do something stupid like that and cost our team?
And yeah, I mean, it could come back to bite him, but again, like I said, he owned up to it. Good for him. I wanted to talk about Sam Darnold here a little bit. His redemption story here, man. He's the first quarterback, might be the first player, I don't know, but definitely the first quarterback to be on his fifth team and win a Super Bowl
as a starting quarterback.
Like, that's crazy. This guy has bounced around the league. He's been given up on everywhere he's gone.
On top of it, you look at the draft class that he was with, and he's the first one in that draft class to win.
Yeah.
Would you have picked that at the beginning of this year?
No, not at the beginning of this year. No.
Probably. You're talking about what? Josh Allen,
yep.
Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
You really gonna
think
Sam Darnold is the one who's gonna win it? What, Baker Mayfield was in that class too?
Baker was the number one pick, and then Josh Rosen was in that class as well, which
kind of
fizzled out right away. But I mean, Baker, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, you're talking like some top tier quarterbacks in the league. And now, granted, Baker's bounced around a lot too, but he found a spot in Tampa and he's done really well there. Allen's been an MVP. So is Lamar. He's been a multiple time MVP. Like, it's crazy that the guy that, was seeing ghosts and, gave up on and all, his career has been really fun to watch because everybody along the way has given up on this guy, but he never gave up on himself.
Well, I mean,
never
look
did.
at it. So it's one of those things. Like, I just feel like Baker Mayfield and him kind of follow the same pathway, right? Where you get drafted to a garbage team. Sorry, Jets fans. Sorry, Browns. Face reality. That's what your team is.
Yeah.
Then you go to the Panthers, who really weren't sure what they were. Then they get new ownership, and now they're a lot better. They've really gone through with Bryce Young. But you had both of those, Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, they were both on that Panthers
and
team.
you're talking about playoff quarterbacks. Well, then he doesn't let that deter him. He goes ahead and says, fine, screw it, just like Mayfield, and leaves. So they both part and go their own separate ways. He ends up going to San Francisco, gets trained up a little bit. Then he goes over to Minnesota, and he has a spectacular season.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's the exact reason why that GM got fired. I mean,
absolutely.
They can say whatever they want, but the GM got fired because the coach said, I want that guy as my quarterback, and he said, I don't want to pay him, and now you're watching him hoist to Lombardi? Yeah, you're out of here. Goodbye.
Yeah, the very next year.
Yeah.
I mean, Darnold has won 28 regular season games in 2 years. 14 with the Vikings and 14 with the Seahawks.
Leverage high games that determine whether you're the 5th seed or the 1 seed.
Yep.
You are in the dance.
Yep.
That is what that means. The 2 years that he's a quarterback for the Vikings and then for the Seahawks. I think that's exactly what Coach McConnell was thinking was, I can get this guy to get another 14-win season, and we're going to win a Super Bowl because I can get somewhere with him.
Yeah.
He's learned off of the mistakes he made last year.
Well, yeah, McDonald looked at it. Yeah, this guy just proved he can win games, and we've got a good enough defense that once we get there, we don't have to rely on him. He's going to get us there, and then he's just not going to make mistakes, and we're going to win a Super Bowl. And that's exactly what they did. Well, it was impressive.
So then it was, you get rid of, I mean, the GM wrote himself. He pulled a Nico Harris and hung himself. I mean, you get rid of Sam Darnold. You get rid of Daniel Jones. Who are your quarterbacks at that point? Well, you got J.J. McCarthy, who you haven't been able to see. We've seen a little bit of spring training camp, practice football games, but nothing real. And then he got hurt and was out. So you really don't have any tape on this guy. And then who do you go and grab? Wentz?
Yeah.
I mean, you were asking for trouble.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. What did you have any more takes on it, Andy? I mean, being a Vikings fan, I'm sure this was bittersweet.
It was very bittersweet. I mean, watching him hoist that Lombardi trophy, but it's like I can't not be happy for him.
Right.
I mean, he put all the haters to bed. He's a really good quarterback. He's proved that. He's got a Lombardi trophy now.
Yeah.
And I think if the Vikings were to win a Super Bowl, you're wearing the jersey right now, Zach. It was when we had Brett Favre.
Yeah.
We were kind of talking about that off camera, but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think the year that they should have won it was, when Favre was there and Adrian Peterson was there. And I mean, we were just talking about it off camera, and that they had a great team that year. But
unfortunately, that was when your running back fell apart. Adrian Peterson, one of the most clutch running backs, puts the ball on the turf 6 times.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that everyone talks about in that game is, well, it's Brent Favre's fault you guys lost. Well, why? Because he threw a pick in overtime?
Right.
He didn't put the ball on the turf 6 times.
Right. Back to the Super Bowl. I mean, dude, Jason Myers. If Kenneth Walker didn't get the MVP, I definitely thought Jason Myers was going to get it. He was 5 for 5 on field goals, which is a Super Bowl record for most field goals in a Super Bowl game. The guy, I mean, he must have went and iced his leg afterward in Mexico or something.
They better build a statue of him kicking a football out front.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the reason why they won this thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, they won by 16 points and he scored 15 himself.
Difference maker right
Crazy.
there.
Drake May had a pretty decent game, but not,
I think most of his yards and stuff came in garbage.
It was in garbage time, right?
Fourth quarter, we've won the game. We don't have to be buttoned up anymore.
Right. Like
you
can
score, but you're not going to get enough points to beat it.
Exactly. Looking at his stats, he had a pretty good game, but like you said, most of it was in garbage time. He was 27 for 43, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. The big thing though is the Seattle defense. They forced 3 turnovers. They had a defensive touchdown and they sacked Drake May 6 times. That defense absolutely dominated this game.
Pressure on him.
Yes, just every single time he dropped back, they were in his face, knocking him down, sacking him, knock him down again, in his face, knock him down again, knock the ball down at the line. It was just like, dude, like they can't do anything. They couldn't do anything in this game.
Well, and we saw that Drake May was prone to losing the ball. We saw that against the Texans.
Yeah.
The only problem with that was C.J. Stroud completely turned into a pumpkin on that game.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Way worse than May was. So then it was, okay, well, that's the case there. And then product of schedule. The Broncos end up beating the Bills. Well, congratulations, Broncos. Unfortunately, your quarterback breaks his ankle. So what do? You got to start Stidham. And I think Stidham could have won that game. The turnover cost him, but one of them deals. It's just, it is what it is. And I think Drake May got lucky that he didn't get pressured more in the AFC Championship game, especially because the snow was there.
Right.
So it was just something they survived.
Oh yeah, I agree.
This game just proved out, like, you're playing in nice weather, California. These guys are going to be able to pin their ears back and get after you, and that's exactly what the Seahawks did. They played their great defensive game. They did exactly what they needed to do, and they watched their film and said, "Hey, we know we can get fumbles out of this guy. We can get him to make a bad decision," and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. This was a rematch of Super Bowl 49. The Patriots ended up winning that one against Seattle on that, talking about boneheaded plays.
Beast mode?
Yeah, boneheaded
let's run the ball
play
on
call.
the 2. Oh, wait, nope, we're going to pass it.
You got beast mode back there, Marshawn Lynch, and you try to throw it on the 2-yard line. It makes no sense. But anyway, Seattle got their revenge. Mm-hmm. They got their revenge on the Patriots.
Maybe the dynasty can happen this time.
I wanted to get into some kind of key plays of the game. So early in the game, Devin Witherspoon's corner blitzes were setting the tone. The guy was coming off the edge. He was getting in Drake May's face. He sacked him, I think, on one of them. And then I want to say he forced a fumble that got recovered, but don't quote me on that. But he was in his face like 3 or 4 times on corner blitzes like that. And those are tough to block, dude. I mean, it doesn't matter how good your left or right tackle is. When they send that corner on a blitz, those guys are so fast and small and agile that they typically get around those tackles and get in the quarterback's face, and they had no answer for it.
Well, on top of it, you're moving so fast already.
Right.
It's not like you're just starting in a offensive lineman stance or a defensive stance like they're normally used to. You're going. Like, you got a good 5-yard run at least, if you can time it really well. I mean, you look at like Paul Malu back in the day, like that. Yeah. Those were the huge plays that broke games open. Some of these people are really, really good at, I know exactly when you're going to snap the ball. I've done a lot of film study. You move your hand just this way, you move your head up, boom, the ball's coming out. So they time it.
Yeah, and on one of those hits, he forced Drake May to throw like a fluttering ball. Like, it just kind of went up in the air and went down. And I think it really like set the tone. Like, we are not going to allow you anytime at all.
Yep.
If you guys start blocking our D line, then we're sending blitzes.
Yep. You have to earn the passes you're going to throw.
Yep. If you can't stop the blitzes, then we're going to keep blitzing. You start stopping the blitzes. If we start getting to you with our DNs again, guess what? We're gonna stay in your face all game. And I think it really kind of razzled Drake May. Like, like we said, he's a young quarterback, his second year in the league. And don't get me wrong, the kid's great, super talented, but that's a hard stage to come onto in your second year. And I think he was really flustered after those first couple hits. Like, it really got to him. They basically allowed him no time to breathe. I mean, it was crazy.
Suffocate. That was exactly what they're. Yep. I mean, dark side spitting, choke the life out of you.
Yep. AJ Barner's touchdown. Seattle, they were up 12-0 in the fourth. Sam Darnold finds him open, 16 yards, and he scores a touchdown. It was the first touchdown of the game, and then it just kind of seemed like it just kind of broke the Patriots.
It felt like that was the dagger.
Yep. It was like that was it.
If there was any chance of you coming back, they just stabbed the knife into your back and broke it.
Yep. And it was a good play call. I mean, the way he ran the route, he just kind of shimmied around the guy and he was wide open. Darnold just kind of lobbed it up there for him, and it was just kind of like, yep, that's the dagger. That's the end. The Patriots were trying to mount a late comeback. And then there was the Nwosu pick six. The game was 22-7 at the time. They're trying to mount a comeback at this point. It's kind of late in the fourth quarter. And he picks Drake May off, returns it 45 yards, makes it 29-7. And I guess you could call that one the dagger too. That really solidified it. It was over at that point.
Well, Well, yeah, it was already a miracle that the Patriots marched down the field and scored a touchdown. Now you're asking the world of them even more now, like more times burned off the clock. And even if the Patriots did get rolling, I mean, they got another touchdown, but it was just too late.
Right. It was just too much to come back from. And then Myers, man, like I said, he put himself in the record book. Jason Myers, 5 field goals. He was just electric. He was on point all night. He didn't miss a single field goal. And it just, like you said, they better put up a statue for this guy. I mean, they won by 16 points and he scored 15. That's crazy.
That is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, like and people always talk about how kickers aren't part of the team, blah blah blah. Like,
I hate kickers. They really do.
I know, but honestly, like, without him, this could be a totally different game.
Kickers aren't part of the team. I mean, my Ravens didn't get to the playoffs because of a kicker.
Exactly.
Seahawks just won because of a kicker. I mean, you could argue the Panthers didn't beat the Rams because of a kicker. I mean, kickers are a huge part of the game. You have a job to do. It sucks when they don't do their job well, but without them, there's a reason why it's called special teams.
It's special.
Not called average teams. It's special teams. Like, you have to be special. You have to be molded in that. I mean, you look at it. Adam Vinatieri, he had ice in his veins. He's the reason why the Patriots went on those runs. He's the reason why it flipped over to the Colts dynasty. Like, you have to have a kicker who's got that ice in his veins and makes field goals when he needs to. Makes the extra points. It's not a given. It's not a gimme. You have to earn it. And a lot of these people take the craft into true profession and worry about it, and others just take it for granted. And you can tell the difference when you're watching.
Yeah. Kind of getting back to the whole revenge thing here. It's kind of funny to me how this Seattle team, the way they got their revenge for that last Super Bowl 49, was to do exactly what they didn't do in that game and rely on the run game.
Yep.
They went away from the run game. They had Marshawn Lynch back in Super Bowl 49, and they kind of shied away from him. They tried to throw it on the 2-yard line instead of just handing it off to him and letting him pound it in. And this time they relied on Kenneth Walker. They were just like, look, dude, here's the ball. Until they stop you, we're just going to keep handing it to you. You know.
And I mean, that you throw back, Russell Wilson was having a great game. But you're on the 2 freaking yard line.
Yeah, with Marshawn Lynch.
You just had the greatest catch had. I mean, it felt like the Tyree catch the Giants had over the Patriots. It was just like the writings on the wall, the beautiful story, beautiful script, like just beautiful in general. And then you're going to do something stupid. And it felt like the reason why you did that was so that Russell Wilson could get his MVP. Who gives a rip? I want to win the game.
Yeah. I'm not worried about who's winning MVP. I'm worried about winning a Super Bowl.
Well, and so you wanted your quarterback to be this MVP quarterback, and now look at you. You don't even have a job, Pete Carroll, because how stupid that play was.
Yeah.
It completely blew up the Legion of Boom. It completely blew up your fan base. It just blew everything up. You can pinpoint that's when the Seahawks really lost their dynasty. And then they had this beautiful godsend. It was called the Russell Wilson trade. And that's what built this team now.
Right.
That's what built this dynasty, the dark side. The Broncos paved the way.
Yep.
When they decided to get Russell Wilson, and they were smart, and they said, this guy's not going to cut him. And they look like maybe they're not going to be something. No, they're right back in the fold. And now the Seahawks, you can argue that this Super Bowl was a gift the Broncos gave them.
Oh yeah. I mean, with all those draft picks and stuff, I mean, yeah, this team was a lot of this team was built from the Russell Wilson trade. And I think the trade worked out in the end. It worked out for both teams. Yes, the Broncos lost a lot of draft picks out of it. Yes, they cut Russell Wilson early and paid out a bunch of money for it. But Denver was a broken ankle away from playing Seattle in this Super Bowl. So I think both teams ended up good out of the trade, but it's just weird how things like that work out in the NFL. It's just weird how it works out. I want to get your guys' thoughts on, first of all, real quick, the redemption story of Sam Darnold is definitely, to me, is like the story of this Super Bowl. It's the story of this whole season. I mean, this guy completely turned it around. He went from a bust to a Super Bowl champion. I'm super impressed with Darnold. I'm so happy for this guy. I love watching him play. I think he completely turned his career around, and props to him. But I wanted to get into Drake May here.
I don't feel like that's the only redemption. As a Ravens fan, I think it's funny. The biggest redemption is the coaching.
Okay.
And the reason I say this is because we should have won a Super Bowl. And you guys tell me if you think I'm wrong, but when we went to that AFC Championship game, we had the best defense going on because of the coach. He was absolutely the reason why we were winning. What cost us that game?
Going away from the run game?
Going away from the run game. What did he do this game? He made it a point to overemphasize the run game, and that's what cost him to win.
Yep.
He redeemed the mistakes that we had as Ravens and said, I ain't playing that game. We got a running game. That's what we've been riding all season long, and we're going to redeem it.
Right. No, I agree with that. That's a good point. Let's get into Drake May a little bit here. Is this a situation of like this guy's not going to cut it, or is this just a young player who's never been here before, got kind of jittery? You know, the defense was just way too good, or like do you think Drake May is going to be a problem going forward, or do you think we got to give this guy more time? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think he's going to be a problem for the rest of the league.
Yeah, I agree. But that's why I'm asking.
I mean, second year, he's in the Super Bowl. That defense is not going anywhere. That run game is not going anywhere. And now he's got a year of, all right, we made it all the way to the Super Bowl, and I know what losing the Super Bowl is. I'm going to go into this offseason, and I'm going to dissect film. I'm going to learn as much as I can. I'm going to make myself a lot better. I feel like he's going to use this like a Tom Brady would, where he's going to, I'm going to get better so I don't ever have to taste bittersweet of loss again.
Right. Yep. What do you think on that, Andy? What are your thoughts on Drake May going forward from here?
Going forward, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I agree.
He was just a young player, big game, going up against a really good defense, but he's going to be a problem. Like Trenton said, now he's been there. He knows what losing a Super Bowl feels like. He's not going to want to do that again.
Right.
So he's going to hit the film room, lift some weights, get better, get on the same pages with his receivers, really hone in the playbook, and visit with Vrabel. And I'm sure they got a good game plan going forward. And he's going to be a problem.
Well, and I mean, on top of it, you look at this. So he is in the same division as the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills took you guys to the depths and barely lost. Then they go and they beat you. And you could say, well, it's a fluke, but the Patriots beat the Bills earlier this season, too. It's not like they're not capable of beating teams that go to the playoffs.
Right.
They beat the Ravens. They beat the Bills. They've beaten the teams that they've needed to. They ended up going on this crazy run. I mean, the Texans' defense was no slouch.
Right. I mean, no, it was
the ball might have bounced your way, but it was the best defense in the NFL. You beat that. Then you go and you play the Seahawks. It doesn't break your way because the quarterback actually didn't throw the ball on to your guys. You didn't fumble the ball. You didn't have a whole bunch of turnovers. You can argue that this should have been the year the Texans made their run and went that way. But ifs and buts, you could talk about this all day long. You have to play the game as it's played, as it rolls out in front of you.
Right.
And I feel like this is more house money for the Patriots. Like,
for sure.
You weren't thinking Super Bowl at the beginning of the year, but you thought maybe a good deep playoff push.
Yeah.
This Super Bowl going there is like you struck the lottery, and now you have a year of loss in a Super Bowl for your quarterback, for your defense. Everyone in that entire organization is going to be hungry. And you don't want that organization in particular to be hungry because we know what they do when they're hungry.
Yes, we do. I also think this is a prime example of these young teams. Like in my opinion, going into the season, if the Patriots made the wild card, it was a successful season. You know what I mean? They're on the right path.
Yep.
They won 4 or 5 more games than the season before. They snuck into the playoffs, get bounced. Okay, successful year. Now let's come back. Let's try to get at least a wild card spot next year. But this team ended up being number 1 in the NFC or AFC. With number 2. Sorry, they ended up being number 2 in the AFC, and they get to the Super Bowl. It's like that's a hell of a turnaround in 1 year. So I really think I agree with you. I think they're playing with house money at this point. You're going to have free agents lining up to go there. They're going to want to play for Vrabel. They see what this team is capable of. They're like, hey, like you guys were right there.
Well, and as
one or two more pieces.
Was, you have everybody else who's watching. You have NFL talent that is watching you and going, the one part you were missing, I feel like I'm that guy.
Exactly.
I feel like I was that guy.
Yep.
I could be that missing piece.
Yep.
I could be that cog in the wheel.
Yeah. Kind of a crazy stat I want to throw out there. Drake May is the first player in NFL history, first quarterback, but first player in NFL history to be sacked 5 or more times in 4 consecutive playoff games. So yeah, a lot of people are saying Drake May didn't, he kind of fizzled out in the playoffs or the pressure was too much for him. But a lot of it is the offensive line play. Let's not forget that offensive line is very, very, very young. Don't quote me, but I believe 3 players on that offensive line were rookies. 2 I'm positive of, but I think there's 3.
Well, I mean, you look at Joe Burrow as one of the best passers in the league, and he doesn't look very good when he's getting sacked.
Exactly.
So why would this guy look any better?
Exactly. I really don't think it was so much that Drake May's not capable of doing it or anything. I think it was more of this team was just so young and inexperienced that they really shouldn't have been there. Well, but they got there and hey, they're going to learn from it.
He learned from this, but it's also going to be that entire offensive line is going to learn.
Yes.
All right, now you know what to look for. You know how to pick up these blitz packages. You know when they do something exotic, something you might not have gotten beforehand. I mean, I'm sure they saw a lot of it with the Texans and then the Broncos, but it's one of those things that it's just an added ripple, and now you can circle it and say, it's going to suck. I'm sorry, Patriots, all of you players in the locker room, but I guarantee you week 1 of training camp is going to be going over Super Bowl loss film, and here's how we lost. Watch this play. This is the guy we should have covered, and we didn't. We missed this guy. I mean, I remember doing the same exact thing when we lost State. The worst thing in the world is the beginning of next season, and hey, we missed this block, we missed this, we do this better, and we win the game. Well, that's what you're going to start next season with is, all right, we're going to open up an old wound. I know nobody wanted to watch it all off season. I've done the breakdown of it, and here's what we need to do, and we'll get you guys better for your blocking scheme, and it's only going to lead to success for the quarterback.
Right. No, I definitely think this Patriots team is not going anywhere in a bad way. They're going to be in the playoffs again. This team's only going to get better from me.
Yeah, they might lose out a few times because you have some serious talent there. I mean, I don't think the Broncos are going anywhere. I honestly think the Chiefs are dead.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys can tell me what your thoughts are on that, but it feels like they're blowing that thing up and they're getting ready to try to start running new. So I feel like they're dead for now. The Bills, if they don't get some receivers in there, it's going to be really curtain calls for them because I feel like the Patriots team is going to be the Patriots team old where they're going to take the division all over again. And you're going to watch them. Who's going to beat them? The Dolphins who can't figure anything out? The Jets who have sucked since the beginning of time.
And the Jets are just bad.
Just can't figure anything. They get it. They finally start winning all these titles away from the Patriots because the Patriots are rebuilding. And now you're back to losing the division to them again.
Yeah.
You had your chance with it. And then, I mean, AFC South until CJ Stroud does something worthwhile, I can't believe in him. I can believe for that defense all day. I think the Jaguars are an up-and-coming team, and so are the Colts. So I'm really excited there. I think Robert Saleh going over to the Titans makes them a contender now, as long as they can get talent around him.
Yeah. Couple kind of cool stats from this game. So Seattle only trailed for 1 minute and 35 seconds during the entire 25-26 postseason. All right, so not from this game, but just from this playoff. Yeah. 1 minute 35 seconds is all they trailed the entire playoffs. That's crazy. They dominated.
Only time they trailed was against the Rams.
Seattle also went 11-0 this season, including the playoffs when they scored first. They were the only team in the NFL to remain unbeaten when drawing first blood. The only team that did that.
Exactly like I said, Legion of Boom 2.0. I mean, that's exactly how the Legion of Boom was back then. You give us 2-point lead, 1-point lead, a field goal, game over, curtain call. We can work with that.
Yep. Couple records. We already talked about the 5 field goals for Jason Myers. Sam Darnold being the first quarterback ever to play on his 5th team and win a Super Bowl as a starter. And then 0 turnovers. So Seattle, they become the first Super Bowl winners to go the entire postseason without committing a single turnover. They had 0 turnovers in the entire playoff.
They got really close to being the first team to have a pitch of a shutout too.
Yeah, like that's That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. This team was absolutely dominant. They dominated the whole playoff. I mean, the only team that really put up a fight against Seattle was the Rams. But
well, I mean, we watched them dog walk the 49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't even fun to watch, honestly.
I had a good time watching it, but
you get what I'm saying. It just makes for not very exciting football to watch.
It's also, this was the first Super Bowl matchup since the 1970 merger where both teams were in the top 4 in both scoring offense and scoring defense during the regular season. This really was a best versus best type of Super Bowl, which you would think we would get that more often than we do, but we really don't. A lot of times a team gets into the playoff as a wild card or the 4th seed,
a lot of
and they go all the way to the Super Bowl.
If you're getting in as a wild card, the Ravens have done it multiple times. You get hot in order to get in the wild card spot, and then you just catch fire the rest of the way. Well, you don't have to be the best team to catch fire. You just have to get there. And it just seems to be the way it proves out is you caught fire at the right time. So you could break it down where, all right, you're the best offense and the best defense, but you weren't all season long.
Right, exactly.
You were just the best towards the end. You were best when it mattered most, and you won enough games to get yourself into that spot.
Any other thoughts on the Super Bowl, guys? I mean, I know this game was a little while ago, so it's, trying to kind of remember a lot of it, but it was one of those games that was just like, it was kind of boring, but it was also fun. But it also, like we said, like it was 3-0 at the end of the first quarter, and it just kind of felt like, yeah, it's over. Seattle's defense is too good. You let them score once, it's over. Any final thoughts, guys?
I guess my final thought is you had coaches out there run the ball even when you think you shouldn't. I mean, that was case in point here. Pete Carroll decides to pass the ball, get cutesy, loses the game.
Yeah.
Ravens decide to abandon their run game, they lose the game. If you abandon the run, you will lose the game because the game will abandon you.
Yeah, I just stick to your game plan. Yeah. If you go into a game and you have a game plan,
stay with your strengths.
Exactly, you have a game plan. If you're down 10-0 halfway through the second quarter, don't veer away. You have a game plan. Stick to it. Ride it out. 10-0 is not that hard to come back. I mean, it is hard. Don't get me wrong, but that's not impossible. Game. Exactly. Like, stick to the game plan. Know your strengths. Use them to your advantage.
Yeah, you're not down 35-0. It's right. You still got a game on your hands.
Yep, and I really think this game they came out with a plan, man. They said we're gonna smack Drake May immediately. We're going to get in his face on the first two drives.
Get home. We just have to hit him. We have to start making pressure right away.
Yep.
You can throw the ball out, but we want you to get hit while you're throwing it too.
Yep. We want him on the ground 4 plays in the first 2 drives. We want him to know that we are here and we're going to hit him. And that's exactly what they did. And it showed. I mean, it showed. It rattled him. And the game, like I said, man, end of the first quarter was 3-0 and it felt over. But I'm really happy for Seattle. I'm really happy for Sam Darnold. I'm so happy to see this guy win a Super Bowl. It's awesome to see. Props to him. Like I said earlier, like it got to a point where everyone around this guy gave up on him. Everybody. Every team he was on, every coach, everyone gave up on him. And it is so easy in those moments to give up on yourself because everyone around you has given up. And this guy he never gave up.
Stayed the cause.
He knew I am good enough to do it. And I will prove all of these people wrong. And that's exactly what he did.
Well,
and it's awesome.
That's the big thing. If you're going to take away from this is you got to have belief in yourself before anybody else can see it. Otherwise, nobody will ever see it.
Yep, exactly.
You have to manifest that yourself, and you have to keep building on those building blocks. Otherwise, you're not ever going to see it happen.
Yep. And it's a really good lesson for like young kids watching him play. Like, don't ever give up on yourself. Don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to what people have to say bad about you. If you believe in yourself, just stick to it and you will get there.
Stick to it, work hard, and good things will follow.
Exactly. No, it was an awesome game. If you guys are liking the content, make sure you guys subscribe, like the videos. We love doing these videos for you guys. So just make sure you help us out with a subscribe and a like and leave a comment. And tell us what your thoughts were. Did this game go exactly the way you planned or you thought? or were you surprised by this? I mean, I wasn't surprised at all. Were you?
No.
Were you, Andy?
No, I wasn't surprised. It went exactly how I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
If the Patriots won this, I would have been shocked.
Me too, honestly. I really would have been.
I thought the Seahawks button down were probably the best team, and it just proved out that way.
Yep. No, like I said, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave us a comment. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night.
Peace.